What's going on, everybody? D-Style here. If you're listening right now on archive, on replay, whatever it is, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you do that. I am amazed at the lengths people will go to. Let me go ahead and get this under control here. There we go. I am amazed at a lot of these so-called boxing fans out here. I am amazed by the narratives I'm hearing. I am amazed at the quote unquote, we have boxing fans following talking points. We have boxing fans out here. A lot of them are content creators getting in line like sheep and just following the protocol of whatever the fuck it is they're talking about. We have a weird dynamic right now. Crawford-Spence has shown us the worst of boxing fans. Like, they've shown us that there is, probably still is, deeper, but as low as we can go to the bottom of the barrel. We have boxing fans that don't care about the fight. Like, why are you even a boxing fan if you're going to be capping and caping and shooting blanks for a damn fighter? Why do you follow this sport if you don't even want to see the fights? Oh, but these style, they do want those. Shut up. No, they don't. I've heard some of the stupidest shit come out of boxing fans' mouths for the last 3 to 4 fucking years when it comes to this fight. Not even just the fight. It's not even justified. I'm hearing the same old rambling shit, the same old diarrhea, watery diarrhea coming out of their fucking mouths. I need to go to Costco or to Sam's Club, okay, and get one of those, big boxes of toilet paper and send it to these people so they can wipe their fucking mouths out of the fucking diarrhea that's coming out of their mouth. That's what we have right now. You don't want to see this fight. It's all bullshit. You'll spend you want to spend 8 hours a day on the internet arguing about who wins. You want to debate for 8 hours, not even about that, about who's ducking who, and he ducked him, and Crawford didn't take the IBF route, and why did Crawford do this, and Crawford should have known that he was going to clean his side of the street, and he didn't do nothing about it, and why did he do shit about when Spence said this and that, and Crawford's a liar, and I'm going to believe everything Spence says no matter what, because I'm all Spence all day, every day. I'm Team PBC, so no matter what, the cause is bigger than the truth. No matter what. Because I'm mad at Doug Fisher in the ring, and I'm mad at all media, and I'm mad at everybody. The truth doesn't fucking matter to me. I'm going to side with one side no matter fucking what. And if diarrhea comes out of my mouth with mocos and everything, it doesn't fucking matter to me. That's the situation we're in. We have fans out here debating about things that they know nothing about. Talking about things that don't matter. They just don't matter. You don't know anything about it. You're not behind the doors. You're not in closed doors seeing what the fuck's being said to know if Crawford's lying or Spence's lying or this. All I know is what the fuck's been said in public. That's all I know. All I know is what Spence has done and what he hasn't done. What Crawford's done and what he hasn't done. What's my role as a fucking boxing fan? My role as a boxing fan is to want these fucking fights. My role as a boxing fan is to want to see the best possible fighters fight the best possible fighters. I don't care if this dude or that girl does anything for the champion or if it does anything for them financially. I don't give a fuck if it's something they want or don't want. I don't give a shit. I know what I want as a fan. Can y'all just act like fans? For once? I mean, this is crazy. This is all I know. All I know is the following, okay? Everybody and their mother knows that the fight to make it welterweight is Crawford versus Spence. Why? Because consensus is that they're both the number one, number two. Whatever way, I'm not gonna have an 8-hour stream debate against somebody, okay, on who's better and not better, and but his resume's better, but he's done more pound for pound, and but he's better at welterweight, but pound for pound, Crawford's better, but Spence is beating the better dudes, and but Crawford knocked out Porter, but Spence fought the better version of Porter, but this and that, like whatever, I don't give a fuck, okay? 1 and 2, everybody knows you're 1 and 2, everybody knows this. All right? So I'm saying I want to see the fight. That's what I want the fight to happen. I'm not going to argue with somebody, Crawford, don't take less than 40%, Crawford. Don't do it. I don't give a fuck if Crawford took 10%. Okay? Batista, don't say that. He'll be good. Like, you dudes be talking like it's your money. It's not your money. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Now, if I need to analyze it, of course I could give my take, and you know what I mean. I could, of course, I believe Crawford should at least get 40%. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm not going to talk about it for 8 hours on the internet. I'm not going to have back and forth debates on Twitter about it with people. What's going on? To Slight Tendencies, you're killing it, D. Thank you so much, brother. I'm not going to go back and forth about this dumb shit because it's a distraction. That's all it is. It's one thing to give your opinion about it. It's another thing when it's been the only thing that's being talked about for 3 fucking years. For 3 years now, but Spence, he's the A side. He sold 300,000, and Crawford only sold 150,000. Yeah, what do you think about that, huh? I'm gonna kill you. Your mother's gonna die, and well, I'm gonna dox you, and well, fuck you, bitch, and all calling each other talks of B words and P words, and trying to kill each other, and it's on site, and if I see you, I'm gonna fuck you up, and y'all gonna fight. At this rate, all these empty threats done by Spence and Crawford fans, at this rate, one of the fans are gonna fight before these two motherfuckers fight. I don't want to see a random Spence and Crawford fan fight. For what? If I want to see two amateurs go at it, I'll just go to the bar across the street. Dudes will get drunk eventually, and then they'll slug it out. I can watch it there. I'm not here to watch bar fights. I'm not here to watch 2 dudes off the street. I want to see the 2 best welterweights on the fucking planet fight. That's what I want to see. That's what I want. That's what D-Style wants. And I believe that's what most boxing fans want. But everybody's stuck on a stupid wormhole. And by the way, can somebody explain to me this stupid narrative that Crawford should have gone the IBF route? What the fuck does that mean? That is you have to be stuck in a bubble to go along with that narrative. You just have to. Crawford was a WBO champion since when? For a unification fight, since when the other champion needs to go the route and become a mandatory? This is stupid. I shouldn't even have to explain this. And I don't see Spence in a hurry to fight Boots, but Boots went the IBF route. It's right there. You know what I mean? What does that even mean? You went that route? This is stupid. All right? This is dumb. I am just trying to make this fight happen, and all I could go is by their actions, okay? Why did he fight Mikey Garcia? Well, Mikey Garcia called him out. Okay, well, Crawford called him out, right? This is how it works. Apply the same logic to the other side. Ask, why did he fight this guy, not this guy? Okay, well, and let's find the common denominator, all right? Well, he fought Mikey, because Mikey called him out. Mikey was in a smaller weight class, right? He beats Mikey, right? They do the fight. It's pay-per-view. No problems with the split. The money Mikey wanted, they gave it to him. Mikey made a lot of money, okay? But don't tell Crawford. Crawford doesn't know. All right? But like we didn't see it happen. Oh, Batista, you're stupid. That's because he's with PBC. Like, okay, whatever. All right, cool. He's with PBC, right? Mikey left Aram. Mikey left Aram, and that's where he got the fight. Okay, cool. Well, Crawford left Aram, and then they could do the fight. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. Like, and these are facts that shouldn't matter to you. Why do you give a fuck that Crawford wasn't with PBC? Why does that matter to you? Like, stop for a second and ask yourself this question. You think it makes sense because you've brainwashed yourself to believe it makes sense. You've brainwashed yourself to believe that, well, Crawford wasn't with PBC, so therefore it makes total sense that Spence fought in-house fighters, because that's what you do, right? That is what you've convinced yourself to believe. That's what you convince yourself to believe. But no. Like, PBC fighters fight guys outside of PBC all the time. Castaño not only fought a Golden Boy fighter, Teixeira, they sent him over to over to the zone to get that belt. Okay? Now, I need to go over the obvious. I don't be, oh, yeah, you know the difference between those two situations and all sort of dumb shit. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, De La Hoya Trinidad, which was a way bigger fight than this shit, got done. And you had one guy with Don King, the other guy with Bob Arum. All right? It got done. Main Events worked with Don King to make that Fernando Vargas fight. Do you understand? They made it happen. I mean, Bernard Hopkins was a free agent, kind of similar to what Crawford is right now. He made fights happen with big promoters all the fucking time. I don't want to hear this shit can happen. I don't want to hear that these guys are their own bosses. Okay? If they're under the thumb of Al Heyman, just say it. I don't want to hear they're their own bosses. They control their own legacy. They control their own career, and they have control, and it's pro fighter and all this other shit. I don't want to hear that dumb shit. Don't give me that dumb shit now. Do not give me that dumb shit. It could happen, right? It could 100% happen. I don't want to hear it. Wilder Fury happened. Fury wasn't with PBC. It happened 3 fucking times. He wasn't with PBC the first time. He wasn't with PBC the second time. He wasn't with PBC the third time. I don't want to hear it. That's what you've been told, and that's what you're writing with. He got all the belts. So let's make the fucking fight happen. It's as simple as that. Oh, but what about Crawford? What about him? What about him? Is Crawford supposed to just wait forever? Is that what he's supposed to do? Just wait for all of time, to all of eternity, for Errol Spence to agree to the fight? What is he supposed to do? Can Spence show me the contract with his signature on it? Can he do that at least? Before people say, oh, it's Crawford the one that doesn't want to sign, can I just get that? Before you just start taking his word for it? He's the A-side fighter, right? He needs to make the offer. Well, what is the offer that he offered? I want to know, what was the final offer? Final offer, Crawford. Take it or leave it. I want to know what it was, or else I don't want to hear anybody, because nobody knows. Okay? I don't want to hear, oh, Crawford, he left a bag. Oh, this is a career high payday. I just don't want to hear any of this, because it's at this point, it's mute, right? It's pointless. It makes no sense. A lot of you guys are prisoners of these narratives, and you're stuck with these narratives. You're believing, you've been convinced to believe that things just can happen when they happen all the time. Usyk was not with Matchroom. They made 2 fights with AJ happen. Like, what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand why boxing fans, so-called, are out here just believing one side over the other. I'm not believing any side. I just want to see the fucking fight. And I got to be honest, one side is doing the workaround over Crawford. He's been doing it since day one. First, he told him, get the belt. Crawford got a belt. Then he told him, I'm going to clean up my side of the street. Okay, so he did. So what's the holdup? What are we waiting for? Right? And I also know that PBC is extremely hard to work with. All right? When Canelo wanted to become undisputed champion, he offered Caleb Plant $10 million. And they were still trying to get him on a long-term deal, multi-fights, and so all this other shit that didn't matter to us as fans. Well, why do I give a fuck if Canelo signs a multi-fight deal with the Zone? I just wanted to see the undisputed fight. So I wanted to see. You should be able to, because I know what people are going to, you say you don't care about money. Why are you bringing up the money that Canelo offered? Caleb Plant. If you think that, you're stupid. That's number one, okay? What I'm saying is that if Saul Canelo Alvarez, who we know is a bigger draw than Crawford, right? In a fight with Plant, who's not as well known as Spence, right? They were playing extreme hardball and were being pretty difficult to work with by all accounts, right? Well, how do you know that? I know that because, like, it was night and day who Canelo was and who the fuck Plant was, and they couldn't make the fight happen. They couldn't agree to terms by September. And Reynoso came out and said, hey, we're still working on this shit. That's how I know. All right? That's called circumstantial evidence. All right? That's what I have. It's not that I was there. I'm just analyzing the situation. All right? If they were being that difficult with Canelo to fight fucking Plant, people are shocked to believe that they were being difficult with Crawford. I mean, that can't be that hard, right? So me as a fan, I'm not going to empathize and side with PBC when I believe they're blocking this fight from happening. Like, they're not going to make this fight happen unless they have options and they have Crawford locked in, probably for multiple fights. By all accounts, I mean, I think they want a lot out of Crawford, and I still think Crawford agreed to a lot of it. Right? Then people start acting weird because he wants transparency. Like, well, why do you care if Crawford wants transparency? What is it to you? Like, do you have stocks in PBC or something? Like, what? I just don't get it. Like, what? There's people outraged that Crawford was asking for transparency. Like, leave aside whether you agree or disagree with the fact that he should have transparency. Let's just leave that aside. Why do you care? How can you possibly not say as a fan, give it to him. I want the fucking fight. How could that not be your reaction if you really want to fight? Like, do you really believe Crawford will get this deep into negotiations and then come up with that to get out of the fight? Like, he would just ask for transparency to get out of the fight? I mean, think about the layers to get there alone. And then once there, like, think about like the audacity of that being the reason to believe that he tried to get out of the fight. This is insane. I just want to see the fucking fight, people. That's all I want. That's it. Give me the fucking fight. That's all I want. As fans, we should be demanding the fight. A lot of people aren't going to like this either, but no, we shouldn't buy the Avanesian fight. No offense to BLK Prime and no offense to Crawford. Okay, we shouldn't buy it, no, because they're not giving us a product we want. Okay? That's why. Now, you're going to do what you want. If you want to buy it, knock yourself out and buy it. Okay? A lot of you never buy shit anyway. You stream it. All right. Apparently Crawford and Spence streamed the shit too. All right. But so stop projecting and stop virtual signaling. Buy the fight, support boxing. Like, shut up. Okay. I'll buy it if it's the fight I want. How about that? I'm not going to buy the Avanijian fight. I don't want that fight. I have no interest in that fight. I really want to see Crawford versus Avanijian. Said no one ever. So I don't understand why people should buy it. It's whatever to me. I want the Crawford-Spence fight. Am I going to buy Spence versus fucking, Keith Thurman? No, I'm not. I have no interest in that fight. Oh, but Keith Thurman, I don't give a fuck, bro. I want you people cap for Keith Thurman out here. I mean, this shit's crazy. Dude comes back, beats Barrios, and like all of a sudden he's going to get a title shot. Oh, look, I'm here. I'm Keith Thurman. Right? Fuck Boots Ennis. Fuck Ortiz. These young lions aren't getting their shot. Because they're not ready. Okay, Thurman's ready for Spence, right? And Avanijian's ready for Crawford. Okay, like this shit's stupid, bro. Boxing fans blocking fights themselves. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And then you wonder why these promoters laugh at boxing fans and say, they don't call the shots anyway. We do what we want. Y'all have no say. And you wonder why that happens. Because in a good business that has a good economy, right, healthy demand runs that business, okay? As boxing fans, we are the demand, all right? That's what we are. That's what we're supposed to be anyway. But you're not. A lot of you motherfuckers be the dude, like just picture going to the grocery store, right? And you see a packet of meat, 2 pounds, for $55. Whoa. The fuck? What's going on here? $27.50 for a fucking pound of meat? Hey, well, yay. Look, these dudes will be the dude like walking up to you and being like, no, yeah, you're complaining? I'm going to buy it. I support Walmart. I support, everything they do to bring us this meat. And the drivers put their lives on the line to bring us this meat right here. And they killed a cow for this. They killed a cow. A living animal gave their life for you to have this meat. You're complaining about $25.50 a pound. How dare you? You're a piece of shit. You don't like it, go eat a salad then. That's you motherfuckers. Okay? That's what you do. You go around your virtual signal and shit. Oh, well, you should be grateful about these fighters that put their lives on the line, and you want to buy the pay-per-view. First of all, let's talk about that for a moment, okay? Because look, I would never go to so you guys tell me you'll go to McDonald's, right? And they're charging you like $50 for the Big Mac. You'll be arguing. You'll be making the argument for them. Oh, yeah, you should be grateful for the Big Mac. You're being here and then serving you this Big Mac. Okay, like you should be grateful for it, right? You should pay for it. All right. Let me tell you guys something. All right. All this fake virtual signaling that I always hear about fighters and the love for fighters and all this stuff. Let me make this really clear to you. All right. I love the sport of boxing and I have all the respect in the world for these fighters and what they do. And then putting everything on the line. I will never shit on a fighter. I don't call fighters bums. I don't talk shit about fighters like that. On Twitter and social media, I don't at them if I'm going to see something negative about them because I have respect for what they do. And I just want to put that out there before I say the following, okay? Most of you motherfuckers, a lot of you fans, okay? All this, they're warriors, give them whatever they want. I will support whatever fight they're in, no matter what. All this fake virtual signaling bullshit, that's all it is. It's bullshit, okay? That's what it is. It's cloaked in bullshit, right? It's virtual signaling cloaked in bullshit. Do you understand? It's cloaked. That's what it is. And I'll explain it to you. You have dudes out here saying shit like, oh, yeah, I buy all these fights. Like, first of all, man, God bless the ones that do, right? I buy the fights, but it's whatever. I have my reasoning for that. It's not because I'm a good person, and it's because I'm a boxing fan, right? And it's because I don't want to watch it on a shitty stream, but that's me, right? I'm not above ever streaming it, by the way, but for the most part, I'm just being honest. Listen to me, all right? Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me. It's not pro fighter. It's not. It's not pro fighter to overpay a couple of fighters and drain all the budget that networks and promoters have for boxing. Right? That is not pro fighter. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you. Anybody who believes that is full of shit. Right? And listen to me very, very carefully. All right? Boxing is a sport with thousands, tens of thousands of fighters around the world. All right? If you're giving all the money in the budget for TV fights to a couple dozen fighters, that's not pro fighter. That's pro a couple of fighters. That's pro maybe your fighter. But that's not pro fighter, plural, fighters. It's not. It's not. Because every dollar you overpay one fighter is money off the table of another fighter. Do you understand? But these style, you can't say the word overpay. Yes, I can. But what do you mean? It's simple. Okay? We have fighters that can draw flies. Okay? They can't draw flies to shit. They're fighting in half-empty arenas, or that's probably putting it kindly, are not even doing $1 million gates. They're doing terrible ratings on television. And they're getting paid a lot of money. And instead of boxing fans looking at that and saying, hey, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying these fighters should be fighting for free. I'm not saying they shouldn't make good money. I'm just saying it is a problem when you're overpaying a couple of dudes. Because first of all, you enable bad behavior. You enable extremely bad behavior that's bad for the sport, therefore bad for boxing, therefore bad for fighters in general, therefore bad for future generations. Because I'm thinking about the kid that's 15 years old hitting the bag tonight, all right, after he gets out of school. I'm thinking about the prize fighter that has dreams and gets up in the morning to do road work and then still has to go to his part-time job or full-time job. That fighters out here working as steel workers and shit, getting out, going to the gym, getting a couple nights sleep, and they got kids and shit to feed. I'm thinking about those fighters. We always think about all this virtual scene. Oh, yeah, they put their lives on the line. They should be able to make $10 million. Like, oh, okay, cool. Now, I always said this. I'm never mad at the fighter that gets the bag. I'm not. I take the bag too. But I feel for the rest of the sport. You have to. You guys got to think about this, okay? What good is it to pay one guy $10 million for one fight when with those $10 million, you could pay $1 million to 5 fighters for 5 great fights? You can turn 10 fighters into millionaires instead of one. You need to think about that. You need to think deeper. You need to think, like, you got to think more. Right now, we have a situation where these fighters a lot of them are living in, and good for them, right? They're living the luxurious lifestyle and great houses and luxury cars and all this other stuff, right? Okay, cool for them. And they're fighting once a year. And then when they fight that once a year, they fight against somebody that nobody gives a fuck about. And it does nothing to advance the sport. It does nothing to gather interest for the sport. It does nothing to further the popularity of the sport. It doesn't benefit boxing at all. And we have boxing fans that justify it and say it's okay because I'm pro fighter. Yes, I'm glad he's getting all that money. Yes. Fuck the promoters. Like it's not about promoter versus fighter. I'm talking about the fighters. When I fork out money every month to pay the Zone, and I pay ESPN Plus, and I buy these pay-per-views, and I have a cable subscription or whatever, right, to watch these fights. I have Showtime to watch these fights. I want my money to be spread out as much as possible. And I want as many prize fighters to get paid. That's what I want. I don't want it to go all to one fighter like that. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fought. I think Katie did $1.5 million. Amanda made $1 million. Good for them, right? And they sold out the Madison Square Garden. The energy was good. The ratings was good. A lot of people watched it around the world. And then you have other fights where they're paying to do $10 million and like nobody watches the fight. There's a problem with that balance. There's a problem with that balance. And the biggest myth is that paying fighters this outrageous amount of money before they earn it, well, without there being like a hierarchy, like the bigger the risk, the more you make. You pay a dude $2-3 million to fight a nobody, they're not going to fight a bigger threat for the same amount of money. They're going to want more money, even if they're not even generating money yet. HBO got rid of boxing because it wasn't doing good numbers, okay? They saw the books. Why we're paying these fighters this much money? They're doing these low ratings. Get rid of it. That's all. That's a cold, hard truth as to why HBO got rid of boxing. Okay? Point blank. That's why Fox is likely going to get rid of boxing. And Showtime eventually will get rid of boxing too. Those are just the cold, hard truths. Okay, you can listen to the dumb narratives from like Ego and all the idiots like, oh, they got rid of boxing on HBO because Larry Merchant was a hypocrite. What? Golovkin instead of the American fighter. Like, no, it had nothing to do with that. The solution to that would be just put American fighters and get rid of Larry Merchant. That wasn't the solution they thought about at all. Okay? And American fighters like Andre Ward didn't get good ratings. So it is what it is. Okay? That's just the truth, ladies and gentlemen. All right? I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. All right? Right now, in America, in the United States, look, ultimately, I think boxing is going to be okay. Let me just say that. Okay? It's going to be okay. But like Gabriel Montoya says, like the sport's sick. Like it's not well. Like there's something wrong with the sport. Like anybody who says, oh, the sport is alive and healthy, it's alive. And I really don't believe you could kill boxing. Like, it's never going to die, right? But it's sick. Like it's just not well. Like it's like boxing has like breathing problems right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's having a hard time breathing. No, boxing is like, it's in need of a cane, but it's too stubborn to use the cane. Like, you know, like it's just, that's where boxing is right now. It's not in a very good place in the United States. It just isn't. And everyone's going to have their different theories, why that is. And look, man, all I could go by is this. Outside of any inner circle of friends I have that talk boxing, there's like layers to it, right? Like, so I want you to picture layers. So I'll start right here in the middle of the screen, right? Right here. Picture like a circle right here. Just picture it. That's a hardcore fan. And there's a circle right around that, right? Well, we'll use this as an example. Look at this beautiful thing. Right here in the middle is a hardcore fan, okay? And there's a circle around that, which is like the casual fan that watches some boxing. That circle outside the hardcore fan barely knows anything outside Canelo, Joshua, Wilder, and Fury. Like, if that. Okay? And then you have another circle of former fans that don't know anything. Like they might know Canelo and it's about it. And then you have casuals in general that don't know anything. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't even know when Canelo's fighting. Like they don't know what the hell's good. They're oblivious to the existence of boxing, to the events going on or surrounding boxing. They don't know anything. All right. Where those from the hardcore, those outer layers used to be stronger. Okay. Like the casual boxing fans still watched boxing like twice, 3 or 4 times a month. Where now they're watching it 3 or 4 times a year. Like that's not even an exaggeration. You think they're going to be watching Moriel on Saturday? They're not. A lot, almost everyone I know from work, and they don't even know Bivens fighting, and Bivens just beat Canelo. They don't even know what the fuck's going on. Like this dude that don't know what the fuck's going on. We have too much, like the sport has a very bad reputation right now. Like it really does. And the hardcore base is loud, and I think sometimes we're in our bubble and we think it's bigger than it is. It just isn't that big. We are small time compared to these other sports, man. Like it's the truth. People got to face it, right? It doesn't seem that way sometimes because we're talking to boxing fans from the UK, from Australia, from New Zealand, and South America. So the internet allows us to connect with a lot of people from around the world, right? And we see events in the UK with lively crowds. We see events in other countries and like or whatever, and it gives us like this false sense that the sport's healthy. And worldwide as a whole, I do think it's okay. I do. But in the United States, there's something wrong with the sport. Like people have lost interest. And there's 3 common things. And I would invite you guys to do this. Like if you have any friends that stop watching boxing, ask them why and don't argue with them. Because the worst thing to do is argue. Because then you're not going to get the reasons, right? A lot of boxing fans, they get very defensive when people criticize the sport, right? Like, especially if you hear something that isn't true, like you get defensive immediately and you start arguing, oh, that's not true. And don't worry whether it's true or not. Just listen to what they're saying. Because perception's everything. And then ask yourself, what does boxing need to do to change that perception? Don't tell people to change. It's up to boxing to captivate people. It's not, no one is obligated to watch this fucking sport. All your casual friends that have no obligation to watch boxing. Boxing has an obligation to deliver and get these people back. Remember that, okay? Before you get defensive, before you wonder why they're asking you these questions. And look, if they know you as the boxing guy and they're asking you questions, that's a good thing. Embrace that. Honestly, embrace it. And take it as a moment to, like, not argue, but just explain. And if they don't get it, it's okay. Just don't argue. Listen. Right? Because that's how you're going to know the problems with the sport. Right? A lot of common things I hear a lot. Like, I used to get very defensive when, like, my brother or somebody would ask me about, like a fight. Right? They'd be, oh, who's fighting this weekend? And then I would always, like, roll my eyes and be like, dude, you don't even know who these dudes are. But okay, let's say this week, Zurdo's going to fight Ramirez, right? I'm sorry, Zurdo's going to fight a Bivol. Oh, man, what are they again? The former me would say, well, if you're interested, just look it up, dude. Like, you have BoxRec. One dude's a world champion, a former world champion. They're both undefeated. It's a good fight. Watch it. That's what the former me would do, right? But once I realized, you know what? They don't got an obligation. It's not, he's not obligated to look this shit up, right? So now it's an opportunity. So, okay, well, hey, Zurdo's a light heavyweight champion, one of the 2 that there is, and Zurdo's a, good Mexican fighter that they're about to fight. If you're interested, you should watch it, man. I recommend a fight. If you have time, watch it. That's a better approach, a more effective approach, honestly, right? But listen to what people will tell you. A lot of people say the same thing. I'll say, well, why don't I know these guys? Like they'll ask questions like that. Again, former me would scold them and be like, well, what the fuck? Just look it up, dude. But now me wonders, you know what? You're right. Why don't you know about these fighters? Like, what is boxing doing wrong that you, as a casual fan, don't know who these motherfuckers are? That means the sport, that means the promoters and networks are failing. The delivery isn't working. All right? They're doing a terrible job at marketing the sport. So instead of getting mad at the symptom, which is the casual fan asking me these questions, right? I want to go to the root of the problem. What's the cause of all this? Well, when I look at it, well, these guys are fighting once a year. They're fighting nobodies. Us hardcores are having a hard time getting excited about a lot of these fights. So word of mouth gets impacted because we're not talking about it in an exciting way. We're not like, think about it. As a fan, are you going to recommend some dumb fight to somebody that, like, you ever hear the Eminem song, like, if you had one shot, one opportunity, it's everything you ever wanted, right? You know, there's certain fights you're not going to introduce somebody to, right? Because you might lose them forever. You want to wait for that right fight. And the less of those fights that there are, the less weekends there are that there's fights like that, so word of mouth is impacted, right? So we as hardcores are not recommending these fights to our friends and family, our co-workers. We're not like, word of mouth. It gets impacted. They're not investing in good commercials about these fights. They're not investing on great shows like Countdown and stuff like that, like they used to do. They're not marketing. Outside of and it's kind of true. And we're on an age where, why do a lot of my casual friends know who Ryan Garcia is? Because of social media. Why do they know Jake Paul's boxing? Because of social media, right? Why haven't these promoters, these networks capitalized on social media? Like they're failing. That's what's happening. Now, I don't have all the answers, but that is a clear sign. What else do casual fans say? You guys know what they say. Like, you hear, you're the boxing guy. Like, you know what I mean? You hear these questions all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, why don't they make big fights like they used to? All me, like, will be like, oh, what do you mean? We had Chocolatito versus Gallo. What do you mean? Like, the casual isn't talking about great boxing fights. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the event that was the thing. Like, oh shit, this is a pay-per-view. I'm going to invite my friends. We're going to have a carne asada. We're going to do a barbecue. We're going to party because this is the shit right here. Right? It's the event. I love Gallo and I love, Chocolatito, but, there wasn't a lot of fight parties being thrown. Stop lying. Okay? Okay, maybe a couple. But for the most part, it was one of those, as a hardcore fan, you're going to watch it at your house. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. So what's boxing doing wrong? Well, Crawford-Spence is a perfect example. The fights aren't happening. What happens? Well, I'll tell you what's happening. Like these dudes aren't fighting. They don't feel enough of an incentive to fight. And they're not happening at the right time. The time to strike is now. This fucking train has been left the station. The train came back. And it left again. The fights aren't happening at the right time. They're not happening like consistently enough. Like, ain't nobody gonna be waiting all fucking, like, bro, like, we get the Olympics more often than we get that big mega fight. It's just crazy. We get the Summer Olympics more often than we get a big, big mega fight, like at this point. And that's sad. And that's sad. It's just that's the state the sport's saying. Well, what else do casual fans say? We hear them say a lot of shit. What did it tell you guys? When somebody brings up boxing to you, and I'm asking you guys, I'm asking the chat, what do they say to you about boxing? What is it that they're looking for? Do they look at you as like a like a hostage? You know, like that's how I feel. Like I feel like they're talking to me like I'm a hostage and they want to save me sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, hey, so you're still watching boxing? Like bro, UFC has a big fight card, bro. They have 8 great fights, dude. Let me tell you about it. People become salesmen for the UFC, word of mouth. Their fans get excited about it. They get pumped up. They're proud of the cards. And what do? Word of mouth. The marketing is there. Dana White does the rounds. All their content creators are talking about the fights, and they don't spend 8 hours debating about purse splits. No, they're talking about who's going to put who in an armbar and who's going to kick who in the head or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, this guy's going to get him in a triangle choke, and hell no, he ain't even going to get him down. Oh, this guy's takedown defense is the best, and then this dude does the coolest backflips when he knocks dudes out or whatever it is, right? Oh, this dude is going to lay and pray for the whole man because they have their same issues. They have the guys they call boring as well. They have all those same issues too, but they have like fights to talk about. Us, we're over here like, oh, Spence, yeah, so he's the A side, and he's the B side, and like, what the fuck's going on over here, bro? Like, casual fans will listen to that and be like, A side, B side, what? The fuck, what's going on over here? What? I just want to, so they're not gonna fight? All right, I'm out. You know what I mean? I hear a lot. But a lot of friends watch boxing in the UK. Obviously, I have some friends who don't, but all of them watch bug fights, etc. Bro, like, casual fans be talking to me like they want to save me. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be like, these. I mean, they call me Eric, but hey, Eric. So, you know, like I'm just waiting for them to do like an intervention with me, bro. I'm just gonna sit down one day. They're gonna be surrounding me and shit. And be like, you know, I mean, football. They have football every Sunday. The best teams face the best. They have a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? We got basketball. They have an NBA Finals. Tennis. They have tournaments. They got to win those tournaments, and nobody just gets to sit back and just wait for the final. Like, everybody needs to play everybody. You know, if that's not violent enough for you, we got UFC. You know what I mean? We got just watch that. Like I'm just waiting for that day. Robert Guerrero says yes, no one to talk about boxing except his brother and YouTube. That shit's crazy, bro. And then, like, not for nothing, like, even friends that I know or acquaintances that I know that watch boxing, they watch very limited boxing. Like, they don't know 99% of the other shit. And look, I could, I get it. Not everybody has time to watch all the shit. I get it. But there's some dudes that if they know Canelo, Tank, Joshua, Wilder, Fury, Usyk, Ryan Garcia, and like Clarissa Shields, I don't know. Like, if they know that, like, to me, it's like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? I'm amazed. You know what I mean? But how many boxing fans do you know outside of the internet? How many boxing fans do you know in your personal life that can name you 20 active fighters right now? If you know more than 2, I'll be shocked. If you know more than 2 fans in your family or inner circle that can name you more than 20 active fighters, I'm jealous of you. Like, I will be shocked, bro. If they could, like, just boom, boom, name me 20 dudes. I'll be shocked. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be, if they know Inoue, I'll be shocked. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, Inoue, what? Whoa. Let me, like, ain't nobody know Inoue. I love Inoue, but ain't nobody know who he is. Ain't nobody in El Paso, Texas, outside of me, maybe the Han sisters, and like, and like, that's it, bro. Kayla Gomez. That's it. Like, I'll be shocked if like 20 people in El Paso know who Inoue is. If 20 know, like, I'll be shocked. Now, how many people in your city or small town, wherever you live, do you think know Inoue? Like, not including yourself. Put a number. How many people you're in your city or town do you believe know Naoya Monster Inoue? Like, how many do you think know the unified bantamweight champ? Like, how many people know? Anybody? Give me a number. Any number. If you have to guess. Like, I have a cousin that knows of him, but I don't even know his name. He calls him El Chinillo. Like, what do you mean El Chinillo? Hey, El Chinillo. Is it Chinillo Chiquillo? That cabrón. Like, and then I don't even know he's talking about Inoue. I just got to, like, take his word for it. Because I go, Inoue? He's like, yeah, him. Like, he might be talking about Ioka. I don't fucking know. And I'll be like, es japonés, no es chinillo. Like, pues, te sabe el chinillo chingón. Less than 10. 5,000 says Man in Water. Where do you live, Man in Water? Yeah, some people know the Russian guy that beat Canelo. That's how they know him. El ruso que le ganó a Canelo. Like, that's how they know him. Well, he is in Japan, but boxing is in a lot of trouble, guys, in the States. It'll be okay, but I've always felt this way. Like, boxing's better when it's forced to do better. Like, boxing's never done good for itself or for its fans out of just the kindness of its heart. Like, you know, like, it's never done it. Like, so what's going to have to start happening is, I'm not saying these fighters should be broke or they shouldn't make millions, but maybe instead of 10 million, like, give them 3 million or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, we got to reward risk, right? Because that's the essence of prize fighting. The bigger the risk, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the prize. Like, that system needs to be put in place. And until there's limited options, and they're not going to be able to just fight once a year, and hungry fighters are upcoming, and then they're willing to take those risks, that's when the sport is going to start to kick off. You know what I mean? Once boxing fans stop buying the pay-per-views that are trash, they'll stop putting those pay-per-views on pay-per-view or those fights, and they'll put them on free TV. Once boxing starts delivering fights that we're excited about, that we can speak proudly of, word of mouth will get better for boxing. We'll be able to call that friend, hey, make sure you tune into this fight. It's a great fight, bro. Don't miss it, right? Because those things matter. I do believe that Teofimo versus Loma had a big factor of it was word of mouth. That is a fight I got together with friends and family to watch. That is a fight I know I spread word of mouth of. I know a lot of boxing fans spread word of mouth of. And look at what it did. It did 4 million viewers on ESPN and ESPN Plus. 4 million when it was on for 3 hours. It wasn't because it was before a college game or something like that. It was on for 3 hours. And it was going up in viewership as the night progressed. Because of, like, there's something they did right about that fight that they don't do right about other fights. What was right about that fight? What was right about that fight is that Teofimo Lopez was looking hot. He knocked out Comey in like the second round. Lomachenko was in a streak. He was no Maschenko and blah blah blah. And it just the way they put it all together and the face off and the lead up and it was perfect. And that shows me that boxing has that capability to get attention, but it has to do it more often, and it has to do it right. El ruso que dio en su madre al presumido del Canelo, yeah, that's right. So that's what boxing needs, man. That's all we need. That's all it is. You know? Anyways, guys, I thank everybody for tuning in. It was a very impromptu show. Hit that like button. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the roundtable on Joe Habib's channel. That is Ringside Reporter Live. Everybody here right now, make sure they're there tomorrow. Okay, Ringside Reporter Live. And like JC's doing the free promotion right there for Ringside Reporter. That's the logo. And all that good stuff. Yeah, I don't know about that, brother, but they just need to promote the sport. That's what they need to do, in all honesty. And give us good fights. And maybe get rid of a lot of the holding, by the way. People don't want to see it. It's just the truth. But I'll do a show about that later. You know, this style boxing, I'm out. Peace.